You're listening to JafriQ Online Radio, live.
JafriQ Radio.
Hi, my name is Ananda Jacobs from America. You're listening I'm a narrator and actress in Japan. You're listening to The Chat Room with Bra Pop on JafriQ Radio. You're listening to JafriQ Online Radio, live.
This is Patrick Behuma from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. You are listening to JafriQ Radio. This is JafriQ Radio. This is JafriQ Radio. JafriQ Radio. You are listening to Chat Room with Brother Pop on JafriQ Radio. JafriQ Radio. JafriQ Radio.
That's a great way. That's a great way to start a show.
Hello,
Hi,
everybody. Minasan, konbanwa from Tokyo. Hold on. Minasan, konbanwa from Tokyo. Good evening from Tokyo, and good morning to all our sisters in the other part of the world. You know, like in America, England, Europe, Africa, and Ghana people. Yamam watching. Today too is the day that the Lord has made, so we should what? Rejoice and we should be glad in it. Once again in the studio today, I have a friend. I don't think he's a friend. I don't know him as a friend. I know him as a brother.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's a brother that, you know, we have different skin, but we're brothers. His dad and my dad used to be the same. And her mom and my mom used to be the same.
It has meaning if you want it to have meaning. That's the whole thing.
So ladies and gentlemen, you know, without wasting your time, I would like to introduce you, my friend, my brother, Jerry Justice Usodayo, Justin Patterson-san.
Hey, I'm here. Hey, okay, I should be looking here. Okay,
yeah. Look
hey,
at this.
It's Justin. I'm back.
Long time there.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. How long has it been? It's only been like what? 3 months?
3 months? Yeah.
3 months, 2 months, something like that. Yeah. You know, this is funny because like this time, last time you said, "Hey, you want to be on my show?" I was like, "Hell yeah, of course."
Right.
This time I called you. I'm like, "Put me on your show." You're so nice.
Thank you for coming, man. Thank you. You know, today I had a guy, a friend of mine. He's called Nitete. He's a
professional drummer?
A drummer player, professional drummer player, and he was supposed to come.
Oh no!
Yeah, and I said no, I'm gonna switch him with you.
Oh gosh, I feel so bad now.
I'm sorry, but next 2 weeks you're on the show, so you better call me now before I get angry.
He's like, you put that guy on instead of me? I can play the drums. What can he do? I can play the table. And I got no rhythm. Yeah.
So,
but yeah.
How have you been?
Good. I think the last time I was here, we were talking about, it'd been, like a couple of months in, into the whole COVID thing. And, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, I'm good. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing fine. But you know what? Now the COVID is back again.
Yeah, that's the thing.
In America, it's rising, isn't it?
It's terrible. Actually, from what I understand, really, it's...
the mic?
I need to be closer. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I thought I was loud enough that, you could have the mic on the other side of the room and they'd be like, okay. Sorry about that. So, yeah. Apparently, the United States is actually just, the worst place right now in the entire world for new COVID cases. And actually, where I'm from, originally in Texas, right now Texas.
Oh, you're from Texas?
I am. In Texas.
With Bush, Daitorio mo so datta ne.
Yeah, he was. The funny thing about him, he's not actually from Texas.
Really?
He just said he was. It's a funny thing is historically in the United States, if people who are from Texas. They say I'm from Texas, and they seem to have a better chance at actually becoming president. No one knows why. I don't know why either. Yeah. So that was kind of like a.
Wait. You want to tell me if I go to the States, right, and I become a citizen of the state, I'm from Texas. I can be the second Obama.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Well, okay. Here, yeah. Okay. Well, in theory, yes. You would have a little bit better chance. But the thing is, it says in the Constitution that you have to be born in the United States to ever become president.
Then I'm out.
So if you were, this is weird. Even if you were a United States citizen, like your mother and father were from the United States and you were a United States citizen, but you were born overseas, you're automatically excluded from becoming president. I don't understand why. I don't know. I think it was just they're afraid of like having someone who would have their loyalties split, you know. But like, I mean, you know, if you were born and then taken back to the United States when you were like 6 months old, there's no way that's going to happen.
There are no chances for children who were born outside the United States when their father or their parents have, you know, some business trip to go. For example, if the father is like an ambassador,
right,
or an army person that has been transferred to another country, they were born there.
Right. From what I understand, like people in the military, they're actually they're okay with that. They're exempted because if they're born on the base, that's considered U.S. Soil. So they're like it's overseas, but they're technically on U.S. territory, so that's okay. But for someone like my kids,
right?
Like they couldn't become. You know, they couldn't become president, even though they would be like American citizens because they were born and raised. And, so it's kind of weird. I don't really understand it.
A friend of mine told me he is not an American. He's an African, right? But the wife got pregnant, and they were living in Africa,
right?
But when it was time for her to get a baby, they flew to the States,
right?
To born there,
right? Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And
that's the other side of that. So what's really weird about that is according to the law also, if you're born in the United States, even just by chance, you're automatically an American citizen.
My mama, what did you do to me?
Mommy, why didn't you? So like technically what's even weird is like if you were, I forget exactly how it goes, but if you were, like for instance, you were taking American Airlines and you were going to the United States from say Japan or anywhere, and suddenly, oh, here comes my baby, and pop, and your baby comes out, they would technically become an American citizen because they were born
on
like
an American plane.
Like on the way to the United States. I could be wrong. If someone's out there that say, no, this dude's wrong, please let me know. But it's pretty like that.
If Justice is wrong, if Justin is wrong, please, you can call me or you can text me.
He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm often wrong, so it's okay. But yeah, the last time I was here, I think, that we were sort of like, COVID was maybe like a couple of months into our sort of, like, not really locked down, but, here in Japan, Jishku. And like you said, it's seeming to get like really bad again.
Right.
And so, but this was predicted. I mean, when it started getting cold, everyone's spending their time indoors, and if they're not wearing masks, like I'm not.
I know.
Yeah.
I think we're cool.
We're okay. We checked our temperatures before we got here. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems to have gotten better, but now it's getting worse, and I think it's going to probably get a little bit worse before it gets better. It has to get better at some point. It has to.
But, I was told that Pfizer they've come up with some, medicine.
Right. Yes.
That it might.
A vaccine.
A vaccine that might, help the whole world.
Right.
I hope it's true.
I hope it's true too. I think they say they should know by the end of the month. Because obviously they have to give it at least a few tests. They can't just say, "Hey, we got it. Let's start shooting people with it," and then it's people start dying. It's like, okay, well, I could die from the vaccine or die from COVID. But apparently that's kind of where we're at, and hopefully it'll work. We just don't know yet. Yeah.
But talking about this COVID, you blew my mind back to this Black Lives Matters, right? I was told that during the COVID, a lot of Americans died, and most of the people that died, about more than half of them, were like colored people. I would say black people, like Mexicans or like other race. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be racism or something or racist, but most of the dead people were like black people.
In the United States.
Yeah,
that's true. And this was actually, even before COVID started getting really bad in the United States, people were already predicting that's what would happen, because unfortunately in the United States, people of color, especially in the African American community, just don't have access to good health care like other people. And the thing is, our healthcare system anyway in the United States is really not that great.
Wait.
That's being nice about it, but it's even worse.
You know what? In Africa, we think United States medical system or medical sector is the best in the world, because mostly if our Sejika, how we call Sejika in English?
Politicians.
Politicians. When
you've been in Japan too long, so I can't think of it in English. Yeah.
When the politicians, when they get sick or something, when they're really sick, they fly to the States to get treatment.
Right.
But you people on the land, on the soil, are trying to tell us that your medical system is not, or your
It's
medical
not.
system is not good.
Well, see, the thing is, like, even if you have politicians, like, say, in Ghana, who maybe if they, like, say, maybe if they get sick, they fly to the United States to get health care. Yeah, they can do that. But they've already got money and they're connected. Right? So I would imagine that's probably, I don't know them in person, but I would imagine that that's probably the difference. Whereas in the United States, people who are disenfranchised or just, your regular, guy, girl out there, especially if they're non-white,
Right.
are just not going to have the money and they're not going to have the connections and they're not going to have access to that better health care. So
Wow.
it's just like I said, I don't like we're always like on this seem to be like really on the cutting edge of like new medical technology and could do some of the best treatments in the world and that sort of thing. But when it comes to like the healthcare as a whole,
Right.
like everyone being able to have access to healthcare and everybody having equal like access basically, it's awful. So I really enjoy being in Japan because of that, because my son a couple of weeks ago he got sick, nothing really serious, but he got sick.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Yeah, it is JafriQ Radio. And he couldn't, he couldn't sleep, and he had a sore throat, and he had a fever, and it was just really bad for 3 or 4 days. We took first thing in the morning. We took him to. He was coughing, and first thing in the morning we took him to the doctor. They did some tests, and they gave him medicine and everything, and it cost nothing. Just walked out there. I didn't pay anything.
Yeah, I think.
But in the United States, you'll never ever get that.
What?
I mean, unless you're already rich. If you have a lot of money, yeah. But like your every, just regular run-of-the-mill person is not going to get off that good. You're always going to end up paying something. And there's actually, you've probably heard of this. Maybe, I don't know. There's actually this probably doesn't happen anywhere else. People in the United States, they get sick. They end up, staying in the hospital for 2 or 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
And or a couple of months, whatever the case may be. And they actually go bankrupt because of the hospital bills. So yeah, I'm alive, but now I'm homeless because I got.
Really?
Yeah,
so you want to
because
tell me that you guys don't have like hoken?
we do, but it's
Kokumi hoken to ka.
No. We
National Health Insurance.
we technically do now, but it's still just it's so hard to explain. It would, it was supposed to be kind of a lot similar to what we have here in Japan, where like anyone can get health care.
Yeah.
Some people have to pay more if they make more money, and if you don't have a
even
lot
in
of money,
Japan.
same
Japan,
way.
Yeah, it depends on your annual
Your income,
your
right?
annual income.
And
Yeah.
technically it's that way, but there was a lot of people that were opposed to it, and they've always found ways to like kind of sort of hold it down and bring it down and just make it just a terrible system. So it's better, but it's still not all that great. So now technically anyone can get insurance, but it's not really working the way it's supposed to, because lots of people, mainly in the Republican Party, aka old fat rich white guys, don't think it's right for everyone to have insurance, like that. So they're trying to find ways to
Republicans,
water
that
it
is
down.
why Mr. Not Trash. What is his name?
Yeah, just call him trash.
No.
Trump.
No, Trump. Okay.
Just call him trash. Sorry. I would still get in a lot of trouble for this in the States. Oh my God, I'd probably get death threats after that for calling him trash. But yeah.
So the Republicans are like, kind of, they don't want other colored people to have that lifestyle or what.
No, I don't think. Well, I think like they don't want anyone to have it.
Well,
I don't think it's like, oh, we want everyone to be poor. They say about this weird idea that if you are poor, it's your fault. You did something to be that way. You're not working hard enough. So no matter what you do, you shouldn't ever get anything for free.
Wow.
And so I think that's their kind of attitude, and I've never really understood that, because some people at some point, no matter who you are, you always need help. Everyone does at some point of their life, unless you've been rich since you were born, like Trump. He's never needed help, with money anyway. But other people do. When I was a kid, we didn't have much money. We were on food stamps. We didn't have money to buy food, so we'd have these little food stamps things we get from the government. So I know what that's like. But there's even people say, no, we shouldn't have food stamps. If you starve, that's your fault. Oh,
what?
And it's just crazy.
But you guys
like
pay
we got
taxes.
so much money. Yeah.
You pay taxes,
Exactly.
right?
So, but the idea is like, the government isn't here to work for you. It's so crazy.
horrible.
We could literally spend the next 5 hours in here just talking about that. But it is. So yeah, so just getting back to what you were asking me about. So it is, it is really impacted, people of color in the United States, and especially the African American community. I think a lot, Because here was one of the things that people were talking about, like when Trump, when he got COVID, a little while back, literally the moment they knew he had it, they fly him on a helicopter to the best hospital in the entire country.
But
and it was funny.
He's the president.
True, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, yeah, and he said, oh, I got this wonderful treatment and I was better in just a couple of days. Like, yeah, because you're the president. It's not like that for the rest of us.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't have to be, but still, to at least have, the idea that if we get sick, someone's going to take care of us. So don't act like, that everyone else kind of has that care, because we don't.
I really understand what you're talking about, because, I had the COVID. Mm-hmm. That was in July, August.
You did?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I was taken to the hospital. Mm-hmm. We were there for like, that's close to 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. They gave us medication and everything was okay. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking, like, if I was to be like in the States, maybe I might have been dead. Yeah. Just because of my color. Mm-hmm.
That's true. It would have been, you would have had a higher chance.
I couldn't maybe afford, the hospital bills or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you would have had, like, statistically, yes, you would have a higher chance of dying of that. But then on top of that, also just the way the country is right now, everyone has a higher chance of dying right now, like everyone. Wow. It's really sad, because today, yesterday actually, we actually hit a really, really bad record in the United States. We had 154,000 people in one day.
154,000
people in one day died from COVID. And we're getting so many more new infections every day. It's sad, because the government is not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, And it's also, it's not, I won't say it's 100% the government's fault, but it is a lot on the government right now. Also, it's this weird thing. You're probably, you're looking at me as like, what is wrong with you Americans? And I kind of think the same thing. Like you and I, right? We go outside of the house, put on a mask, go, please cough over there. And then, we don't think about it. Yeah, people ask us to put on a mask to protect ourselves and the people around us. Okay, I'll do that. Fine. Right. In the United States, there's people that's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Why? You can't tell me what to do. Well, it's not about that. It's about protecting yourself and people around. Right. I don't care. You don't tell me what to do. It's like,
It's like Americans have got a kind of habit that, like, I am number one. Yeah, I do what I want to do. Yeah. You don't need to tell me what to do.
Exactly.
This particular case, who's
do it.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, even like Dr. Fauci, who is like, in the United States, you maybe not be, but if you're really following what's going on in the United States, he was just saying exactly what I've been thinking. But the whole time it's like, yes, we are very independent people, but now is the time to be doing what you're told
to do. Yeah.
It's not the time to be fooling around and acting like, we had this old movie a long time. The martial arts star Chuck Norris.
Right.
Yeah. He used to be he had this really old movie like a long time ago. It was Lone Wolf McQuade, and it's just like the personification of that outsized American thinking. I'm always going to be
the champion.
Yeah, and I'm on my own. I do what I want the way I want it. Nobody can stop me. And it's fine for a movie. Yeah, it's cool because it makes a movie. But in real life, you can't do that. And we have that kind of lone wolf mentality. And it's really working against us right now. So it's just, back in Texas, where I'm from, this is probably why Texas is really being hard hit right now, is because a lot. How in Japan they have the kenminse?
Right.
You see people from this prefecture are kind of like this, and people in this prefecture are kind of like this. We have that the same thing. I'm sure it's probably the same in Ghana. It's a little bit different from different areas. In Texas, that's really strong. They're really kind of like overly independent. You don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want. If you don't like it, And so
if you don't like me, what?
What's that? And if you don't like it, F off, I'm not going to say that. But it's really bad in Texas like that. I mean, that's fine maybe in your everyday life, but at a time like this, you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You got to just do it.
You have to cooperate,
Yeah, you got to cooperate.
And then get all this mess up, done or clear.
And Texas right now isn't locked down, but my family, I was talking to my mom yesterday.
It's locked down.
It's not locked down. It should be. But my mom, she's like, but we're locking down. We don't go outside. We go shopping for food, we walk our dog, and that's it.
That's it.
Otherwise, we don't leave the house because we're too scared to.
Yeah. Because now, like in England and some places in Europe, they are locked down.
Yeah.
They're really locked down. Because it's shooting.
Yeah, and it's so hard because in the United States, like I said, it's the same thing. It's that sort of like, don't tell us what to do, that sort of thing. And it's really hard to get a lockdown in the United States. There's a debate as to whether you could lawfully make a lockdown or not. Some states have done it anyway. It's like, well, we're going to do it anyway. We have to. We don't want people to die.
Yeah.
But some people are like, no, you can't do it. We're not going to let you do it. And it's kind of scary because you have some people say, yeah. And you have some people who are genuinely paranoid, thinking, oh, you're just trying to take over our lives and make this into like an authoritarian state. So they will go get guns.
This is JafriQ Radio.
To the Capitol and protest and say, if you're not, like a couple of months ago, maybe not a couple of months, but like a month ago, it was really big news that the governor of all of a sudden I can't think of where she's, Wisconsin, Governor Whitmer. There was actually people from this right wing sort of paramilitary group. They're very, very far right wing, and they're that type. Like, you're not going to tell us what to do. Right. They have guns, they've got weapons, and they were actually making a plan to kidnap the governor of Wisconsin and some other lawmakers. And they were talking about, we're not just, we're going to, obviously we're going to kidnap them. And we're not really sure what's going to happen after them, what we're going to do to them after that.
Wow.
In other words, because they're just so paranoid, and it's crazy. It's really a really big mess. So
man, this America is kind of scary. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But of course, but still they have good people in America. Life is very interesting. We have all this,
Yeah, there is. It's true. It's like that anyway. I mean, there's a lot of good people. There's also a lot of bad people, and I think I don't know if I'm gonna. During the I'm really easy to understand. I don't like Trump. I don't like his kind of people. And I think during the Trump administration, the good thing, and it's also the bad thing, is we see so many bad people coming out of the woodworks. They were always there, but they weren't so.
They were not
so
to see them. Yeah.
But with him there, they felt like they could come out and show their true selves. And it's both bad in that they feel like they're emboldened. They feel like, oh, now we can do this and we can say this and no one's going to do anything about it. That's bad. But at the same time, the good thing to take away from that is like, okay, well, now they're not hidden anymore. We know who they are. We know that these people really, there's lots of people like this still. And it's good for us to sort of like know, what's wrong in our nation that we couldn't see it before. So like, if you got like a heart disease, see people have heart disease and you don't know it, right?
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It can kill you.
Right. And you have this heart disease and you never can prepare for it, and then you suddenly die and you haven't made a will, you haven't, but if you know about it, you could do things to sort of mitigate it. And so it's kind of like that, I think. It's like now we know where these people are and, what type of people they are, and there's still a lot of them. So we know that we have a lot of work to do.
Talking about this Black Lives Matters, right? I think this Undo started when they killed this movement started when they killed.
You really have been in Japan too long. Okay.
When they killed this guy,
George Floyd.
But before that, I did a little research. They had killed about more than hundreds of people.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think like this white police people, all this brutality to like Spanish people, to Mexicans, black people, and other like not, excuse me to say, not like white race people.
Right.
Even if the person is like mixed, they don't care about that. They beat them up and do bad stuff to them. I mean, as an American citizen.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Living in Japan for this long, and not white or black, but as a human, what do you think? What do you think about those police brutality in America?
So the thing is, it's like, I think this time what a lot of people sort of misunderstand, and obviously the Black Lives Movement didn't really start with the killing of George Floyd. It had been around a while before.
But it was not really popular.
Yeah, it was there and people knew about it, and it kind of lost steam. But then after George Floyd, it just took off, and as it should have. And so this is one thing that a lot of people in the United States don't know. Hey, I'm just waving to someone off screen. You're like, who are you talking to? A lot of people don't know this, but the police, I don't know how the police in other countries got started. The police in the United States, not everywhere, but for the most part, they didn't just start out as people who are there to, to make people obey the law or to make sure people are following the law. They actually started out as patrols that were there to capture escaped slaves.
Oh, in the beginning.
In the beginning, not everywhere. It wasn't like that everywhere in the United States, but a lot of places, especially in the South, was like that. That's how they started out. They weren't there to make people follow the law. They were there to make sure that captured slaves were taken back to their masters.
Meaning,
right, and that was a law. So in that case, in that sense, yeah, they were officers of the law, but it was like only really in that sense that they were kind of law enforcers.
Meaning, let me cut you in. Meaning, they were not there. They didn't bring them to be like peacemakers because police means a peacemaker, right? But in America, those days when they started the police, well, I think as you said, it depends on
the area.
The area. They were there to enforce running slaves.
Exactly. They were there. They were there to support the system of slavery. So they were patrolling. That's what they were patrolling, but like not police patrol. They were patrolling to see if anyone had escaped
from the yacht.
And then they would return them. And it gets worse after that, right? Because once you escape and then you come back,
so that
you're going to be in worse
the
than
foundation
you used to be.
of it.
It's exactly.
And
so
it's a state to now.
It's rotten from the very beginning, right?
No.
So, and I know it's true. They say, "Oh, it's just a few bad apples." They're just like, "No, it's not." That is exactly. There are good police officers. Don't necessarily. They are. They get in with the best intentions. I want to go in there. I want to do good. I want to help people. And I think sometimes they just get corrupted. They end up in a system that they can't do anything about. And even then, you have some police officers who are really good and they just keep on being good police officers. But I think it's just they're in a position where it's really easy to fall into that kind of
category.
Yeah, exactly. And the really scary thing is, like here in Japan, I don't know about how police are in Ghana, but
I'll tell you later.
Okay, I'm kind of interested. Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested in hearing about that because there's probably a huge difference. Here's the thing it's a bad cocktail. I just call it a bad cocktail in the United States. The police have they have almost unlimited power and unlimited impunity. So they can pretty much do whatever they want, and in the end, they're still not going to end up being guilty for it. So yeah, here's the funny thing is I forgot it's a qualified immunity. There's an actual phrase that's called qualified immunity.
This is JafriQ Radio,
which means that in the duty of a police officer, if they have a reasonable idea, it's reasonable for them to assume that they are going to be injured or that their life is in danger, they are authorized to use deadly force.
But to the other person,
right? So it's like in the end they can always say, well, I felt I was in danger, and if they're together, they're going to cover.
They're going to say that.
Yes, I felt my life.
They always say that.
Yeah, please. There's sometimes I can understand it.
That's funny.
Sometimes I can understand it, but at other times no. If someone is you got a dude in the middle of the street who doesn't have a weapon, who's got nothing, and he's just maybe he's got mental problems, maybe he's just drunk, and maybe he shouldn't be there, maybe he should be arrested or whatever. Fine, but you do not need to shoot him, and it seems like it's they get away with it too easily. And what's even worse, we could be here for the rest of the day talking about this. They also police unions. They have a police union, and they're very, very powerful in the United States, and they have it to where they are supportive of certain political candidates. So if you've got the police behind you, say, we support Mr. Richardson for governor. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are going to be, those all the other police officers will fall in line with that, want to vote for him, and then their families will vote for him, and other people will vote for him. And if you really kind of, pardon my bad language, if you piss them off and they say we're going to, say don't vote for this guy, it's got a lot of weight. So it's kind of like you have to have the police on your side, and when you want to do that, what are you going to say? Do what you want.
Oh my God.
And so they make sure that even if someone gets in trouble for something that they did on the job as a police officer, they've got really good lawyers and they've got all these people behind them that are going to get them off in the end. So they know even in the end, we spend lots of time in trouble, but in the end I'm going to be okay. So
they're just like the mafias, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're fucking mafia. Oh, excuse me. They're fucking mafia.
You said the F word. Yeah. It's crazy. And see, the nice thing about here in Japan, and this is when I want to ask you how it is like in Ghana, you know, in Japan, that like, yeah, sometimes the police officers give a shit every once in a while, and they're like the police officers in Japan that much either, but I'm not afraid that they're going to shoot me.
No.
I'm not afraid if they stop me that I'm going to end up dead. And I think probably, even as a person from Ghana, you know, like in the United States, you would probably have more of a chance of that happening. But in Japan, you're not, you know, maybe they might say something to you like, oh, that guy looks funny or whatever. But you know they're not going to shoot you.
No.
They know they're not going to beat you. They're not going to just haul you off to jail for nothing. And so,
Mr. Justin, do they do the same thing to white people, or only to the black people, or to the other color people?
Okay, here's the thing. Now, it's not as clear cut as you might think. So it's not like, oh, white people never get arrested or white people never get beat. That's not true. But it's just when you look at the numbers, for people of color in the United States, they get it. They will be incarcerated. In other words, they get arrested or put into jail at a rate that's, I think, like 3.5 times as much as white people do. Wow. Yeah, and it's just sometimes it's silly. You really get. It's anecdotal evidence, but sometimes you can see stuff all the time online. What was his name? I forgot. The guy, he went up into a church, I think, and he shot people. Like 10, 12 people. Just shot them and killed them. They found him later.
Police officer?
Police officers found him later in the woods hiding with a gun. And they waited, and they somehow talked him into coming out. They took away his gun, obviously. But then after that, they set him down and gave him some water and gave him some snacks.
I saw that shit on video on YouTube.
That didn't happen to anyone else, I guarantee you. If that had been anyone else, I'm sitting here as a white guy saying it, it's kind of funny, but if that had been anyone of color, that wouldn't have happened. They would have just shot him. And I hate to say that, but that's statistically, that's just the truth. Maybe not in some instances, but statistically, that is the truth. And I think...
sometimes I really love America, but when I think about all this stuff...
It's sad.
It's so sad that I'm like, 行くのも怖いんだよ.
Yeah.
すごい.
It's sad. And I even remember myself, it's upset me quite a few times, but I remember the first time I saw what happened to George Floyd on the news, I just cried. I was at lunch with a friend of mine. I just couldn't... I don't understand how one person can do that to another person. How? I mean, why would you... The guy already has handcuffs on. You've got him on the ground. Why would you want to put your knee on someone's neck? That's just a horrible thing to do to another human being, and I don't understand it.
Other time, there was a video on WhatsApp, YouTube, and everywhere, and also like on the news. There was this black guy who went to, is it Popeye Chicken?
Yeah, Popeye's Chicken.
Popeye's Chicken.
It's a good restaurant, by the way.
Yeah, he went and he bought a Popeye Chicken, and I think he got drunk, right? So he slept in his car.
Yes.
At the drive.
This is JafriQ Radio.
Right in the parking lot.
Lot, and the owner of the shop called the police on him, and then the police guy called up this guy to do some interrogate him or do some investigation or whatever, and then he asked him to walk, and I think he didn't walk well, and then he tried to force to arrest him, and he started running, and he turned back and did his headlighter. So he have no gun, but the policeman just shot him 3, pam, 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 and he just killed him.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen to me.
Yeah. Why does it have to escalate like that? And we have this saying in the States: to a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yes.
So I think for the police like that, everything looks like you need to use force because that's kind of what they're trained to do. And technically they're trained to de-escalate, but they know they don't have to.
But do you think this can change with this new president? What's his name?
Biden.
Because that guy too, he has suffered before. He know what life means. He have lost his wife and kids in an accident. He lost his son, and he his life is very すごい大変。だけどすごいね、頭いい人だと思うんですよ。その差別に関するとか。どう思います？
Here's the thing. There's a lot. You know what's funny? I was looking at some statistics of the voters this time in the 2020 election, and there was a really funny question in there. They said, when you voted for the person that you voted, either for Trump or for Biden, were you really voting for that person, or were you just voting against the other guy? And for 80% of the people that voted for Biden, they were just voting against Trump, not necessarily because they liked Biden. It's just like, we just gotta get Trump out of here. Like literally, that chair over there would be better than Trump. Just get him out of here.
No.
So the thing about Biden is, and I need to brush up a little bit on his history, but when it comes to race issues, he's not really that bad, but he's not that like great either in the past. He's always really been very pro-police in the past, and he hasn't really done anything for the African American community in the United States. But I think he realizes that the position he's in now. But he actually said it.
He said it. Yeah.
He said, Black Americans, you had my back, now I've got yours. And it's like, okay, great, but you got to keep that promise. I think he knows, even if he doesn't have that past, he knows the position he's in. He knows what he needs to do. And they being that his vice president now, she's half black and also half Indian.
Indian, yeah.
It would be kind of stupid not to. It's because Kamala Harris, she's your right-hand woman and you're not doing anything about it. They're in a position where right now they just better do something about it.
But what do you think after 400 years over the slave trade and stuff? Don't you think the black people or the other nationals, not white, non-white people in America, born in America, raised in America, as an Americans, should have an equality kind of life in America?
Of course. There's a really... This is what I was talking about, how like the beginnings of the police in the United States, they both started out as, basically a gang just to make sure that escaped slaves were taken back to their plantations, to their masters. There's another thing, and it's more than a theory, but it's kind of less than a fact. It's kind of hard to describe. There's a really famous historian, Howard Zinn, Zinn. People who know a little bit about history in the United States really know him. He wrote this great book, The People's History of the United States. In the beginning in the United States, when it was first getting, there was, people coming over from Europe, and then the slaves trade started and that sort of thing. In the beginning, it's not to say that there was no racism at all.
Right.
That's going to happen naturally between people who don't know much about each other. They're going to be kind of afraid of each other. But it seemed to be more of rich plantation owners, people who were rich and who wanted to be able to have cheap labor. They were wanting to sort of set poor white people and poor black people against each other, so that they don't work together to come after what the rich people have. So they kind of made a system so that one side or the other would sort of get treated better, that they would, be, maybe looked at as better than the other one. And of course that would automatically create a conflict, because anyone in that situation is like, if you're going to start paying me more money, okay, yes, I'll do whatever you say, right?
Yeah.
And if I get treated better, then okay, great, that's wonderful. You don't have time to think about the other guy. But then when that goes on for a while, then you actually start thinking that you are better. And so it creates that schism, and it creates these kind of levels in society. And unfortunately for a lot of the rich people in the United States at that time, they were white. And I think it may be just something as simple as, well, he looks like me, and we maybe have the same background a long time ago, so it's easier for me to sort of, get him to be on a little bit of a higher level. Yeah. And so that's sort of what happened. So it was, for the most part, artificially created, and it's just kind of blown up now into what we've got. But I think I always have to be positive. I think it has obviously gotten better than what it used to be hundreds of years ago, and it's slowly gotten better. But to pretend that systemic racism doesn't exist in the United States is like, okay, well, a ballot fraud. In other words, this time, Trump is talking about, there's election fraud. There's no evidence of it, but everyone on his side believes that it exists. Yeah. But when you've got the numbers to prove that systemic racism, especially in regards to police keeping, with police enforcement, law enforcement, exists, it's there in the numbers for decades and decades. That's not the truth. That doesn't exist. It's like you just don't want to admit it. It doesn't. You don't want to look at it that way. So. It does exist, and it has gotten better, but it's still got so much work to do. I don't know, maybe in our lifetimes it won't be where we would want it to be, but I think in some time it will have to get better, and it will get better.
I hope so. What you and I can do as people that we've lived in Japan. Just let's think about Japan, how Japan is. See the way the police is. See the way the government is. The way they respect the citizens. You know, what we have learned here. If we go back to our nations, our destinations, our different background destinations, how are we going to implicate this to our people?
Or are you saying like how we should take that back to our own countries? Well, I think that when it comes to like law enforcement, I think one of the things that that America could learn from the Japanese police forces, you know how they always have this saying, like I think Japanese people, Japanese like police officers say, Japanese police officers don't use their guns.
Right. Yeah.
They do in some instances, but they just don't have a choice.
Yeah.
But that would be great for police officers in the United States to learn. Don't just depend on your gun at first. You can do other things, to sort of, to solve the situation.
Let me tell you a story. Before I tell you my story,
Okay.
you were trying to know about Ghana, right?
Yeah. What are the police like in Ghana? Would it be? This is like an awful thing to say. Would it be like? And this is mostly funny.
No.
But like in Ghana, I was like, yeah, we're gonna give white people shit. That would be kind of funny, actually.
But no. In Ghana, the police, they are there for like peacemaking. The only thing that is bad about the Ghana police is they get bribes.
Well, yeah.
So if you have the money and you pay the bribe, and you're at fault, you become you become a victory person.
You'll become
You win the case. That's the only problem that I personally
have had
don't like about the Ghana police. Apart from that, they are great. During to like peace making, fighting against robbery, fighting against like criminals. Mwah.
Rather really good.
Yeah, but
And the
he can just he won't meet you at at a city, trying to like maybe you someone just say you've done something wrong and just come to beat you. They will hold you down or hold you up. Listen to what the person is saying. If you at fault, put you in handcuffs, take you to the cells or to the counter back. We call it counter back. Do papers and they take you to the court. Yeah, if you drive over speed and they catch you and they don't get any money from you, there are some police they don't. They'll just take you to the court, and then the court will give you a penalty or something.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that is what I can say about Ghana police. Yeah.
But it's very rare that they actually ever like beat someone or shoot someone or something like that.
No, I've never heard that.
Really?
If a police is going to shoot somebody, it's like there's a robbery.
Right.
And then the robbers are like trying to shoot them. And then they're going to fire back.
Right.
Last week they fired 2 armed robbers in the bush. They killed 2 people. I heard it on the news. And one police guy had an injury on the leg. So they have to fight back. But like ordinary people, like to foreigners, to like ordinary Ghanaians, no.
This is JafriQ Radio.
They could definitely learn that.
The only problem is they're gonna get $1 from you.
And then you get treated a little bit different. Our sound guys are laughing, or he's trying to keep from yawning. I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah.
But police in the United States could definitely learn from that. Another thing they could learn is that, and this is not like necessarily police, but whoever makes the laws, that you can't give the police too much power. You can't give them too much impunity, because even this famous saying that anyone in the world knows: absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you have too much power, you'll end up using it for something bad. Even if you don't think it's bad at the time, you will. And that's exactly the situation.
You know that you have something that will cover you back or hold you back.
Yeah. And that guy that put his neck on put his knee on George Floyd's neck.
His back.
Yeah, on the back of his neck, right?
No, I said he's back from the prison.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the news the other
Mark
day.
Chauvin is his name.
He's just like an ordinary person, killing somebody like that, and he just went to prison for like a couple months, and his back is out. Imagine if it's like a black police or like a black man that has killed somebody like that.
Might be a little bit different.
I mean, you'll be in prison your entire life.
Yeah. But the thing is, he knows that he can, for the most part, get away with that. And the good thing about the age of the internet is it's gotten a lot harder for them, because there's always people around with their cell phones.
Yeah. This is JafriQ Radio.
Maybe at the moment it doesn't help, but later on to hold them to account, it does help. It doesn't fix everything, But like where these people could get away with it because no one could really report it.
Before,
like in real time, they're like, hey, and the good thing about one of the good laws about that is like they can't stop you from filming them. They could tell you to back off. They can tell you to back away, but they can't force you to stop filming.
Because last 2 months there was a live like this where there was a live streaming on Facebook. I don't know the town. A guy. There were 3 black people. They went into the hood to visit a friend. For example, you came to my place to visit me.
Yeah.
And the neighbor just called police on them. And they were like at the first floor.
Yeah.
Then the police just came and then start, harassing them.
Yeah.
Sit down! I said, sit down!
Yeah,
And he said, what have I done? And he was trying to,
like, I live here.
I've done nothing wrong, sir. He put him down, and then this, the good Samaritan white guy just came, pull up his phone, and start videoing
him. Yeah.
And you know what? They handcuffed this guy, they smash him on the floor and everything. And the guy said, I'm not leaving. Bro, don't worry, man. This is what they've been doing and it's bad. Trump and his administration, you all have to. He was so mad. And it took them 30 minutes. Cars, like new police cars were coming in. But the guy stood, filmed everything live on Facebook.
Wow.
And at the end...
he had to be scared a little bit.
They couldn't do nothing. And they just drove out. If not, that guy would be in trouble.
Yeah, maybe even worse than trouble. That's the thing is that idea. It's like, because we're the police, you do what we say, even though what they're doing is wrong. It's like you're supposed to go along with it. That kind of thinking is just wrong. That's called fascism, and we're not supposed to be like that in the United States. But unfortunately, that kind of fascism just seems to be like. In Japanese, yonin suru, it seems to be kind of like, in this case, it's okay. No, it's not. I mean, I think, as far as like our, in Japanese, kokuminsei, right? It's our like kind of our country personality, I guess maybe the closest translation for that. I think in some instances we do need to have kind of a strong police force, but you can't give them too much power. And I think they do have too much already. It needs to be taken back. So the thing is, and that's really what there's this big movement that has been sparked, especially from this time with what happened with George Floyd, called defund the police. Other people say abolish the police. It's actually a little different.
You cannot abolish the police.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. But even the people there's a lot of people even inside who are saying abolish the police. They don't actually want to like just totally down with it. They say cut them way down and then use that money for something more constructive. So when they say defund the police, that's usually what they're saying is let's not just give the police departments all of this money for them to use and do whatever they want. Let's take that money, which is the thing that it's gonna hurt them the most, right? It's like, we don't have money now. Use that money for education,
right?
For social outreach, for mental health,
right?
For that sort of thing. And I'm definitely for that, because I think we just tend to like put so much money into that idea that we have to use force to police all the time, and it's just not true. You do need it sometimes, but it just goes without saying that some people are going to do better and they're going to respond better to their environment and to their laws when they are not always worried about they're going to go hungry, they don't have enough money, if they're not in danger, if they're not being like hunted by the police. Well, that's not really the right phrase, but so I think that's really, to take that money and put it to something more positive, I think is definitely a good thing. But the problem is Joe Biden himself, he said, no, I'm not behind that. And for a lot of people, I tend to be very leftist in my thinking. I was like, no, he needs to be with that. But for him to just say that we're going to defund the police, that's really kind of like not very good for him politically. But he could like maybe not say it and then maybe put it into action anyway. So we just have to see how that works out.
How many policemen do you guys have in America? In total, roughly.
Oh gosh, no, I have no idea.
That's a lot of money.
But I can guarantee you, we have a lot more than any other country per capita. In other words, per like many civilians, we have more police officers, for a number of civilians than any other country. I can imagine.
What is the difference between the sheriff and the police? In America, they have, is it sheriff?
Sheriff, yeah.
Sheriff?
Mm-hmm. Sheriff. There's no difference. Like basically, when you say police in the United States, you just kind of think of like your average, what we call beat cop, omoari-san, the guy who just goes on patrol, goes around in his car.
Right.
When you say sheriff, he's like a little bit more like higher up. than that. He's like a little bit, like in a small town, you tend to have a sheriff. He's there because there's not that many people. So you have this head guy, and he's kind of in charge of this number of police, and it's a very small department.
Right.
But when you say police, like in general, then you're usually talking about like bigger cities, and you have like number of people, that sort of thing.
You know what?
Yeah.
Something funny happened to me last night, and I was thinking like, after coming home, I was thinking like if this should have happened in the States, maybe I'm not here today doing this show.
What happened? What happened?
I went to the grocery store yesterday.
All right.
To buy stuff. Okay, I paid my bill. He said it's 5,000 something, and I didn't want to get the coins, so I put it 10,000 yen, and then the remaining coins I put it up from my wallet.
Right.
I just needed notes.
Right. So you wanted to make it just change.
Just
right?
change.
So you would just get notes back. Yeah.
So I gave the money to him, and there was a lady behind me, a Japanese lady, about 50 years old, age person, and I think she also put her 10 yen on the same plate. And I didn't know.
Why did she do that?
I don't know.
Just like book it, or is she just
I
kind
don't
of like
know.
Okay, senile. All right.
The shopkeeper, I think he put everything into the
into the till, right?
into
the
the machine register.
Yeah, register.
So he gave me the balance of he gave me a balance of 5,000 yen,
Right.
solid. So I get the receipt. I put everything in my wallet. Start putting my stuff together to get ready and go. So he asked the lady, "Okane wa, where's your money?" And the lady said, "I put my money down there." And he said, "No, okane haratte nai yo." He said, "Haratte." And then the lady said, "You saw me putting the money down, right?" She was asking me.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, I saw you putting $1,000, 1,000 yen note on the plate."
Yeah.
So I was about to go, and then the shopkeeper said, "No, wait." I said, "Okay." So I fold my arms, and he's like, he started, beating up the machine. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, God.
And he said, "You have taken the woman's money." I'm like, "What?"
Oh.
He said, "I have."
You messed up, and you're like blaming me. Okay.
He was blaming me that I have stolen the lady's money
Right.
in Japanese. Anata okane o torimashita. I gave you the money,
Yeah.
and you gave me the balance.
Right. Yeah.
So
You're kidding me.
I was mad.
Yeah.
I said, "No,
Of course.
you give me the balance, and this is my balance, and this is my receipt."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, you take the money." And there was about 15 people on the queue,
Oh gosh.
and they were waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No." So he was like insisting that I have stolen the money. And I said, "Are you stupid? Don't look at me as a black guy or as a foreigner. You kind of,
Yeah.
fuck with me."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he said, "Wait." So he went and called up his
The manager.
supervisor,
Oh god.
about 70 years old, Oji-san.
Oh no. Yeah.
He also came, and he, "Bro, you have to get the money. I'll call the police. I'll call the police."
Oh my
I said,
god. Yeah.
Call the police. I don't fear. I don't give any about it.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to take my things
Yeah.
back and walk out from the shop, and then the guy ran up behind me, went and called the police, and the police came, and there were about
really?
6-7 police. Yeah,
6 or 7.
I swear my
6
mother.
or 7.
I
What?
swear my mother coughing.
Yeah.
And they're like, what was the problem? I said, "This is what happened. This guy is telling me that I've stolen the money, but I haven't stolen money. I'm not going to steal 1,000 yen.
Yeah. If you're gonna steal something, you can steal a lot more. Come on, dude.
I have been in Japan for 31 years.
Yeah.
And this is first time in my life in Japan. If you go to the shop and they give you balance, everything is clean.
Yeah. Yeah. It's finished.
It's finished. I mean, and also we trust each other.
Man.
Yeah. A Japanese will never.
And it's
make
probably a
mistake.
place you shop at all the time, right?
Sometimes, yeah, I do shop there. Then they were like, blah 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 blah, and the police was talking to the woman outside. So she explained everything to the police. And man, I was so mad. I said, "You have to apologize to me. If not, I'll deal with you."
This is JafriQ Radio.
I was so mad.
You don't want Pop to deal with you.
I was so mad.
So what happened in the end? Did they?
At the end, the police came, and then he said, "No, you guys, the shopkeeper, is he 間違えたの。お前らが間違えている。お客さんが間違えてるわけじゃない。だからこの商売の仕方はやらない方がいいんです。The police, starting,
Right.
backing me up.
Right, and they were telling me, you guys that made the mistake,
The man for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Me and the shopkeeper and that small boy. And I showed him my wallet. Look, inside my wallet I had 120,000 yen.
Right.
I told him, look at my money. I'm not going to steal your yen. But I was just thinking, like, after, if it were to be like in the States, and a shopkeeper have called a police on the black man that she has stolen the money.
Right.
They wouldn't even listen to what I'm going to say. You understand?
I think there was,
they would just come on me with this tall, 6'4" black guy, standing in front of this chobi people.
Yeah.
They would just, arrest me or like, So
I think there's definitely statistically that's probably what would end up happening. No, you're definitely right. And
so,
one of the and what's really messed up about that is it's kind of like related to what like George Floyd. The reason they called the police on him in the first place, this is so messed up. They called the police on him in the first place and say he tried to use a fake $20 bill to buy something. Here's the thing: no one has ever been able to produce that fake $20 bill. It hasn't been found. No one said this is the dog. And usually when that happens, this is it, and they have it in evidence.
And they didn't show it.
And it would be so easy for them to say, hey, yeah, maybe what we did was wrong, but this was they have it. So it does not exist until they show it. So that's kind of in the same, it just reminds me of that. Yeah, so I could totally see that escalating in a really bad way. And especially, if you... And it's not really a good thing, but like if people, when people get accused of something that they haven't done, they get angry.
Of course.
I would, anyone else would. But then you get angry, and then people are, oh, he's getting violent. No, I'm just getting angry. There's a difference between angry and violence. But they get scared, and then they say, oh, I was afraid for my life. And it's like, it's just so easy to kind of like exaggerate that, especially for police, So.
But man, I really thank this police guy when he came. The commander of the troop that he came, there were like there were about 6 people, 5 men. And 2 women with a patrol car and detention. And a guy had a very long stick. You saw that stick that they
yeah. Oh, he had one of those big long things? I've always wondered what they use that for. Do they ever even really use that? They sit out. Have you ever seen that? They sit outside of the police department with this big long stick, and they just sit there like
just like the African the yari.
Oh yeah, like the spear. Like literally, you've got guns. What are you doing with that thing? Are you just sitting there like? I was like,
so
it's so weird.
I mean, I'm lucky that I'm in Japan.
Yeah, because you're not going to get shot at least.
At least, because they all had all guns and handcuffed and everything, but they were down.
Yeah,
they came down and then they just talked to me and they're trying to know the truth.
Yeah,
like in America, before they know the truth,
it's just like we're gonna
you gone.
Yeah, it seems to be like their first reaction to everything. Like we said. To a hammer, everything looks like a nail. The first thing we got to take out a gun and take care of it. No, you don't.
Nah.
It's just, and I understand because in the United States,
have you ever had that experience?
No.
In Japan?
But I'll be honest, I'm a pretty good boy. I've never really. I think the worst thing I've ever had. It wasn't even really an experience. An experience. Last time I had anything with a police officer when I was at university, and I was speeding. I was going above the speed limit, and they stopped me. I was like, oh no. But I just told them, I'm just like really tired. And I was speeding because I just didn't want to go the speed limit because it's boring going 55 miles per hour. But when he came and he stopped me, he's like, "Why are you speeding?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to get home because I have to study." I was in university. He's like, "Okay, well that's not a reason to speed. So you slow down and go home and be careful." I'm like, "Okay."
Did you get tickets?
No, I didn't.
Wow, you're lucky.
That's the worst. I maybe I'm just lucky. Because a lot of people in Japan, they always say like, oh, the United States, so much crime. You must have seen people getting killed and shot and stabbed. And I'm like, no, actually, I never have. Like me personally. Never have.
Of course.
I never have. But, I think like the worst I saw was like a police come in to break up like a fight where someone got drunk. That was the worst thing. And it wasn't even... And they were nice. They didn't pull out the guns. They just like pulled them apart and put them on the ground and then... even that wasn't really that bad. There's like, okay, you gotta come over here and sleep until you're not drunk anymore, And that was about the worst. So
our time is kind of
Almost up.
Almost time, yeah.
Amazing,
But
an hour is so fast.
What do you think with this new government? Will this police brutality and racism? Do you think from the top they can do something about it to bring it down? For example, if now it's about 60% in the states, will it cut down a little bit, so like under 50 or 40 or 20?
Okay, the
What
short
do you
answer,
think?
because I know we don't have a lot of time, is I think definitely, like I said, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they know their position they're in right now. The two most important issues in the United States right now are obviously COVID-19 and then our race issues, especially in regards to policing. So if they ignore that, they're really doing that at their own peril. They know that's why they got into office, and if they don't do something about it, it just automatically makes them liars. I mean, just bold-faced liars. The thing is that the thing I'm worried about is if, ouch, sorry guys, I got like those. Yeah. The thing I'm worried about is right now, obviously, the most important thing has to be COVID-19 because people are just like daily dying from it, like everyone. We can't let
154 people.
154,000 people in one day. That's scary.
154,000 people. Wow.
So, but the thing I'm worried about is obviously, we do that's the most important, because you can't solve race issues if everyone's dead. So, you have to take care of that. That has to take precedence. But I just want to make sure that the problem of race and then policing isn't lost when we're using so much energy to solve the problem of COVID-19. It can't get lost in that. So we need to make sure that they are doing both. And we can't just let all of our attention go to curing or getting, taking care of COVID-19 and forget the other issues. You just can't do it. It's too important. So we kind of need to sort of hold them to their promises. So
okay, where's my glasses? Right here.
Clement over here, he's just laughing. He's like, the old man can't find his glasses.
Oh no, we have on Facebook.
Yes.
We have Yaya Seidu is watching with us.
Where's he from?
From Ghana. Woohoo! And we have Nick. And we have Mr. K.
Mr. K.
We have Beatty watching with us. We have Daniel Ofori watching with us.
Well, thank you.
And we have Augustine watching with us. Thank you so much for tuning in to JafriQ Radio. This is on Facebook, and we're gonna go to YouTube and see what we have on YouTube now. On YouTube.
Who have we got on the YouTube?
This is JafriQ Radio.
On YouTube, we have 0 people watching on YouTube.
Oh no! I think we had a few more. I was on here last time. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm sort of really losing my popularity, aren't I?
No. We have 0 people watching on YouTube. But gradually they're gonna come, so you can join in.
But you know when that happens, you're supposed to say nothing. There's 0 people watching. Like you're supposed to just say, "Oh, okay, that's good," and then just not say
Yeah, that's
anything.
good. Please.
But you're an honest guy, so.
We JafriQ Radio is on Facebook, also on YouTube, also on Instagram and Twitter. So please check our website and follow us. Just type in JafriQ Radio.
Yeah, so there's a Q, not C, right?
Yeah. JafriQ Radio with JAFRIQ. And the Q is OK emoji in a big letter, ne? And JafriQ Radio. Radio is R. How we spell radio?
RADIO.
Okay,
Last time I
he got
checked.
it. He got it. Yeah.
It could've
So
changed,
it can be changed. Because changing the K to Q. Might be changed from O to maybe Z or something.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah. Anyway, this program was supported by the Bayside Modeling Agency.
Bayside babies.
Also was supported by the Church of Pentecost, the Zion Company Limited, Africa's Japan, the Seymour Noble Solicitors, Tomrick Hotel in Ghana, West Africa, Willow Knox Jeans, and 1225 Jeans.
Thank you.
And please, if you want us to help you in making any coverage, maybe outdooring, some mobile warrior and more outdooring, which we are fraying, weddings, and as a church events, and as a funerals, we will do all the coverage for you. We edit it, with good narrators. We have our best narrator in the house today at JafriQ Radio, and he is in the name of Mr. Jerry Justin Patterson.
This is JafriQ Radio.
What's that?
What day were you born?
January 3rd, my birthday.
So
January
now you'll be.
Night.
Maybe Sunday. You look like a Sunday. You are Kwesi.
No, I think it was a Tuesday.
Tuesday, Kwabena. Yeah,
I
I
could
we have
find
some bedding. You were born on Tuesday.
I think.
You were Kwabena.
What is that?
In Ghana, we have our names on like the days that we were born. If you were born on Tuesday, you were Kwabena.
Kwabena.
I was born on Thursday. I'm Yao.
Okay.
He was born on Monday. He's Kwejo.
He looks like a Monday dude.
And you know Kofi Annan.
Yes.
Yeah, he was born on Friday. That's why we call him Kofi.
Ah, so that means Friday.
Yeah, Friday born guy.
Wow.
So his
So his
surname
name
is
is Friday.
Annan. Yeah,
Wow.
Friday Annan. Kofi Annan.
I like Kofi better. It sounds better. Wow. Is there anything like, you know how they say like in the months, like if you're a Pisces and you have this kind of personality, or does that have anything to do with
Yeah,
personality?
yeah.
Really?
Personality too, yeah. But
Okay.
Kofi people are kind and very learned. Yao people are very yasashi.
Like you?
Yeah, yeah. And what was your day again?
I was Tuesday, I think.
Yeah. Tuesday. They are strong. Makeri Zurai.
Makezugira.
Makezu Girai, ne?
That's me.
Yeah.
I try not to be a loser. That's how
That's how it is. So, thank you for coming in again
Yes,
to
thank you very much.
JafriQ Radio.
I loved it. I love this show.
You love it?
It's a lot of fun. to
You know,
just
they've
talk.
we've got some changes.
Yeah, I noticed we're sitting on a different side of the room now. Yeah, it's design's a little bit different.
Right, yeah. I know, he brought it from China
Uh-huh.
and then he fixed it. Dr. Mr. Papa Police. Anyway, so this is the end of the program. And with the help of our engineer, DJ Clemsy, and all the staff of JafriQ Radio, your producer was Mr. POD, the kids call him Diamond Prince. And also executive producer was Nanaya Pop, aka Pop Sensei, sitting in the house with you.
Pop Sensei. So lucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were the team that we brought to you this program. So thank you so much for tuning in. And the next program on JafriQ Radio is Jesus Hour with our dear elder, Dr. Elder Ali from Nagoya. I think he is in the house. So like in 1 hour time,
It's like literally in the house.
later in the house.
Literally in this house.
Yes. So in an hour's time, I think we're gonna start with Jesus Hour. So please stay tuned and listen to some cool music by DJ Clemsy. And until then, we say
Yep.
sayonara.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Arigato.
Ada, gịnị? Ha ga-abịa ọkpọkpọkwu nke ha ga-abịa na ha ga-abịa o nne m ha ga-abịa o bịa ka gịnị ka ịkwado bịa ka ịkwado biko bịa na
Have you seen my beautiful baby? Have you seen my tomato baby? Oh, ELA, baby, suffer the cool me temper. Ada, baby, na sugar. Yo. Everybody they wait. Utakene no more. If I didn't maka, better soup na money kill amo. Ada mwa ngwa peke ya. Ada get them for everywhere. Ada no they lack, Ada get them for up and down. Baby na tomato, baby too fresh like morning wine. Ada welele, iyo koko. Everybody they wait. Utakene no more. If I didn't maka, better soup na money kilamo. Ada ngwa pekem ya. Ada, ada ngwa, ada. Ana bejima adada yo.
Thank you. Let's go forward.
Thank you.
Let's move the creative on.